The National Student Financial Aid Scheme is facing yet another knock as interim chairperson Mokoena Maluleke has resigned with immediate effect barely 5 months after taking up the role. Another board member, Karabo Mohale, has also resigned this week. In addition to these exits, the scheme has had an acting CEO for more than a year. Altus Senior Project Manager Rudy Heineke says the public deserves full transparency on why there continues to be multiple resignations at the entity entrusted with administering billions of rands. He joins us now to have this discussion. Mr. Heineke, thank you for your time and for joining us this morning. How would you characterize the current leadership situation at NSFAS? What are the most pressing concerns?
Good morning, Katlego. Yes, I think the most pressing concerns is at this stage that we do not believe that the board has a quorum. So very important decisions cannot be made. And that is a problem that is not only in NSFAS, but we see it across entities in the higher education space. But at NSFAS, administering, like you've said, a huge budget of 50 billion rand a year, we are very concerned that this board now is not constituted and cannot form a quorum and cannot make decisions.
The recent resignations of some of these key board members, including the interim chairperson, they certainly have raised alarms. What does this leadership vacuum just indicate about the institution's stability? I mean, you've mentioned the board and it not forming a quorum at this point in time.
Well, we've seen after the appointment of Minister Manamela, a total of 7 board members have resigned up until now. The problem that we have is that there's no transparency. The previous resignations have never been communicated to the public, to the stakeholders, to the students. And we see up until this last week, we see that the full board, full 13 people's names appear on NSFAS official documentation. And that is a huge concern because the public out there and other stakeholders will believe with that everything is going well and there's good governance and the good governance structures are in place. But the fact of the matter is that that was a misrepresentation.
I mean, you mentioned that there's been multiple resignations, and yet official documents are still reflecting some of the former board members. How does this ongoing leadership instability impact NSFAS' ability in order for it to fulfill its mandate, especially, like you mentioned, in managing billions in public funds?
Luckily, up until now, we haven't seen problems going downstream, to the students and so forth. But there are issues that needs to be resolved. For example, we haven't seen transparent procurement releases on their websites for more than 3 years now. We are still waiting, student accommodation providers are still waiting for the student accommodation rates to be allocated, the 2026 rates. We know that everything is going up. Prices are increasing, electricity, water, Wi-Fi, and so forth. But these accommodation providers are still do not have a new rate for this year, and we are in May already. So there are factors that's going downstream and that will have an influence on other stakeholders as well as the students, because students must stay in this accommodation that landlords don't know what they are going to get, and if there are going to be any increase this year. So it does have an influence and an impact on other stakeholders and the students.
You speak about a lack of transparent procurement processes. What does the role of transparency do, or the lack thereof? What does it play in the current crisis at NSFAS?
Well, as a taxpayer and a stakeholder in an organization like NSFAS, we really want to know what they spent their money on and who they are paying and who they are appointing as service providers. And that information should be updated, as it become available. But we have not seen that at NSFAS from, I think, 2022 up until now, that is a transparent project that they are doing and that they are keeping the people and the stakeholders and the taxpayers updated on what do they spend their money on.
What do you think is the fundamental issue at NSFAS? I mean, we revolve some of these board members. We saw in 2024 that board was dissolved by the previous minister. A new board has come in. We are seeing resignations left, right, and centre. What really is the problem with our financial aid scheme for education?
Katlego, it's difficult to say. I think, if we go back a few years from the time, or in the past, let's say 8 years, NSFAS has been under administration twice. And that says something about the leadership ability and the leadership roles. Then we saw a appointment of Mr. Andile Nongogo and Mr. Ernest Kosa as the CEO and chair of the board, respectively, who has left the organization under very suspicious circumstances. Then the organization was put under administration again by former Minister Nzimande. Administrator being there, not completing the full year, and a new board was appointed. No CEO up until today. From the appointment of the new board, no new CEO has been appointed, and we are sitting with an acting CEO and an acting chief financial officer, CFO, now for more than a year. And that is not a very healthy situation that an organization, like I said, that must administrate more than 50 billion rand a year, that is not very healthy for such an organization.
Do you think that in some instances where we're not seeing consequence management, particularly by people that sit in such leadership positions where board members are not declared delinquent, that we would find that people would come in and, as you mentioned, do as they please, and as they exit, they leave such institutions in the decay that we are finding them in, and then the next cohort comes in and does the same thing?
Yes, we've seen this over and over again. One problem that we have is like the institutions like NSFAS and the SETAs, for example, unfortunately, no one can approach a court to declare them delinquent directors because they do not fall under the Companies Act. That is a lacuna in legislation, and that is what OUTA is going to court currently, is in court currently, trying to rectify that the entities falling under the PMFA must also be, the directors thereof must also be held accountable by, for example, a delinquency application. But we haven't seen accountability for people in leadership roles. We have seen what happened at, for example, the services SETA over the past few years, and the boards just come and go. There's no accountability. And people are being appointed in other positions. We've seen, coming back to services SETA again, the former chairperson there, Mr. Themba Mahambi, who was just redeployed and became the chairperson of SANRAL for many years. And that is very, very concerning to us as OUTA, and it must be concerning to the public, the wider public out there as well.
Most certainly. So OUTA is calling for full transparency and urgent corrective measures. What specific action do you or are you embarking on taking that you believe are most urgent in order to restore stability, particularly at NSFAS?
I think, first of all, the minister must come clean and take the public into his confidence and say, why were there so many resignations from the time that he took office? That's number one. So that one can understand what's the reasons for these resignations. We've heard the previous chair, Dr. Karen Stander, why she resigned. But the other resignations, we don't know, and we don't understand why it happened. And if one can understand that, and have a better understanding of what is going wrong, maybe it will be a way of correcting those mistakes. And then further, I think that the nomination process for board members must be wide open, transparent. Public must give their inputs. We have seen at the SETAs last year that nominations from the public were just wiped off the table. We didn't see any of those nominations going forward in the boards that were appointed there. So I think public participation and the public say must have a stronger input while with these appointments of board members for these institutions, especially in higher education.
Most certainly. Rudy Heineke, thank you so much for your time. That is the Outer Senior Project Manager speaking to us there about the leadership vacuum within NSFAS as another board chairperson has resigned.